Here in Davos, while there are plenty of headlines around the global business and political elites, there's another side of Davos which is not always explored to that extent. And we are getting you an insight into the social entrepreneurs, the millennials, and what are defined as Davos's global shape as the times are changing, and they are changing with the help of these three young gentlemen from India with innovative solutions to address the economy as well as social needs. Utkarsh, Jaideep and Maninder, thank you for joining me here on NDTV. Let me begin with this big idea which brought you to Davos and the reception that you have had.
Right. I mean, it's been a fabulous reception that we've had. It's focused on fourth industrial revolution, responsive and responsible leadership. I'm a global shaper from Delhi, and I'm personally helping build India's first smart village in collaboration with the government of Maharashtra. I work for Microsoft and focus on digitizing public sector organization. To tell you a little more about the smart village, this is in Maharashtra, Harisal, which has infamously been called the epicenter of malnutrition. And when we began work there, mobile phones didn't work, the student dropout rates were significant, and avenues of finding skilling and employment were virtually non-existent. 1 year from now, through television, white spaces and alternate means of technology, we have enabled last mile connectivity. So now villagers interact with each other on Skype and WhatsApp. And recently, Times of India put forward an article that says that villagers are now selling their produce online on e-commerce, leveraging the next boom that's happening in India.
Right.
Yeah.
Jaideep, let me get you on this. We have, NDTV rather has explored some of the work that you've done, but how are you lighting up India's mountains?
So, our organization is called the Global Himalayan Expedition, and we have electrified 25 villages till date in the remotest communities of the world, I would say, that are living in the Himalayas. You practically have to trek 3 to 4 days to access these communities. And the way they are living is in the most pristine of the environments, but they don't know what a light bulb is. So when you provide energy access to these communities using solar microgrids, that's a new innovation in technology that we have done using direct current, the kind of reaction that you see on the faces of these people is priceless. The women start crying, the people start praying when they look at the light bulbs, and the children start dancing. When have you gone into a room, switched on the light and started dancing?
So lighting up the faces of all these forgotten villages in that sense, and 400 million people in India don't have access to electricity. And that indeed is a shocking statistic. But Maninder, talk about how you are focusing on the education technology and taking it to rural schools across India.
Absolutely. Like there's been a lot of talk about how education is going to change with the fourth industrial revolution and how we're going to have holograms, everything. But I want to focus on the, let's say, the forgotten segment. That is the semi-urban or rural segment in India. You would know NDTV has done a Support My School campaign. We are preparing them. I don't think we are even preparing them for the second industrial revolution, the factory world. So every year they go to the next grade, they actually fall behind. So what we are trying to do is trying to not dump gadgets there. That's not how it's going to work. What we believe is that we need to create regionalized content, which they can associate with, number one. Second, have very little hardware, so that maintenance and handling it easy. And the most important aspect is little or no teacher training. So our platform is a click-only platform, where teacher just needs to know how to point and click. So we are hoping that with the baby steps we are taking, we hope to touch 500 schools this year, and all these are remote areas. So the best part is if you provide them the tools, they are performing equally or better than the city kids. So they should be given that chance, and that's what we are trying to do.
Right, you can be born poor, but there's no reason that everyone should stay poor. And I want to focus on this element of social entrepreneurship because I feel that Davos has been criticized to be an elitist sector, a place where only the capitalists of the world come in and is disconnected from reality. But tell me about your experience with these very so-called capitalists and elites and how they have helped your business or your ideas.
Sure. So I also run a non-profit that does peer-to-peer mentoring, and just now I was at a breakfast meeting with Bill Gates and some other entrepreneurs who have committed to giving half of their wealth And all of them were there sharing why they did it. And one of them were from Dangote Foundation. And I know 3 other shapers are from Africa who are doing phenomenal work. I told them about the work that they're doing, and they said they were so excited. Their eyes lit up. And it was, that's what my nonprofit does. It provides, the connection that would not normally happen. And as Jaideep was mentioning, for him, for many other entrepreneurs, this is an access point to take our ventures, our ideas to the next level. So it's not just ideas and introductions. It's actually taking what you're learning through insights in sessions into forward actionable ideas. So I believe that it's more than just a platform for capitalists to come together and have cocktails and canopies.
So it's not about networking, but it's about actual help. And Jaideep, I believe you have a story where you were directly helped with your Davos experience last year.
Let me first get back, the global shapers community that we are all part of. We have a privilege that 50 shapers every year are given the opportunity to be here at Davos. Now that is an opportunity very few people have. Now the average age of people here at Davos is 50, and then you have this bunch of 50 shapers who are between the ages of 20 to 30. Now it's our initiative to actually reach out to these people and actually tell them what we are doing and represent the voice of the millennials, the millions out there, as to what kind of work is being done in the communities back home. And my personal experience, I had the privilege of being here at Davos in 2016, and I met some of the most amazing business leaders who committed to 30 villages being electrified, and that was my Davos experience. And so I call this the magic mountain, because if you have the will and if you can really reach out and if you have the courage and if you have been doing some amazing work, the people here listen to you, the people here want to help you. So it's not about a group of elite people coming together. The people here really want to reach out to the youth, and they really want to enable the youth in the work that they're doing.
Yeah, I'd just like to add on, if that's all right. So yesterday I was at this working group that was discussing last mile internet connectivity. That had people from competitors, the larger organizations, Google, Microsoft, and the other. They had startups, they had policy people, and the key idea was to come up with 3 actionables that you'll actually deliver the next year. And that is what it's important. It's important for competitors, people who come from different social, economic, political beliefs, to be on the same table and discuss and take forward. So I believe that was one concrete working group that I was part of, and 3 concrete suggestions were advanced to improve access, enhance the digital ecosystem, and ensure that the benefits of the 4th industrial revolution are taken forward equitably and embraced by everyone, not just by the elites, so to speak.
Right. Maninder, talk about your experience with mentorship here as well, because there are so many people who are doing amazing work here. Right. That's a granted. Right. So do you feel that you come away with that kind of mentorship from Davos, as well as the community of peers who are equally as passionate as you are about social entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll share a story with you. So yesterday we were at a dinner, and it was a normal dinner, right? But the person sitting next to me was CEO from Pepsi, right? And we got into a conversation, and where do you get the chance where they come to you and say, listen, we want to make a difference, so tell us how we can help you. So it's not, money is later, it comes, right? The funding comes, but what's so my ask was, can you give us the platform to showcase what we are doing? Because the most difficult part is to let the world know that this is happening. The moment you get the platform, things come together. So the fact is that when we get this platform, when we get this tag, which gives us access to everything, we are equals. We go and we talk, we ask them questions, and they are more than willing to help. So there's no, I mean, the definition of capitalism and the capitalist sitting here and all that, I mean, there's way more than that. And as he rightly mentioned, that there's a lot of practical discussion going on, and we are part of that. We're going to take a lot away from this.
And millennials always look at the world with fresh eyes, so you bring that perspective. So let me ask you very quickly, all 3 of you, your best Davos moment where you feel that there was a line or a exchange, and some of you mentioned an incident which you will just take away as a formative change in the way you do business in India, something which will change the way you look at things.
Right. So I'll just go back to the broadband discussion that we were having yesterday. So the panel comprised people from different countries who are very invested in India. So we talk of ease of doing business in India, we talk of investing in India, but I could see that although India doesn't rank very highly in the ease of doing business, there's palpable energy and excitement in different stakeholders from the Middle East, from Africa, from North America, Latin America, in investing in India. So the millennials are definitely exciting and building a brand for India, and Davos is one such platform of doing that.
I think for me, the personal story that I have is I've seen the leaders here are very decisive. It's either a yes or a no. They won't beat around the bush and tell you, okay, let's follow up, you send us a mail. And that was my experience. Within 5 minutes of the meeting, the leaders that committed to the electrification of the villages, they said yes within 5 minutes of the meeting. So that's what I see here. The leaders here are very decisive. They want to take action. And, it's not about just a group of elite people coming together. The people here are really concerned about the issues that are out there in the world. There are more than 1 billion people without access to energy. There are many people without access to food. But the more discussions that are happening here is how can you reach out to these people? What is the ask? What is required to really eradicate poverty, to really eradicate energy poverty, to really eradicate water and sanitation problems from the world? And that's what the world leaders are discussing here.
Business for good.
Yes, for me it's been quite awesome so far. Like even if Davos was to end today, it's still got 3 days to go. But I would have been happy going back home because there are 3 organizations. I would not name them right now, but who are as I told you, this year we're going to touch 500 schools. Otherwise, in a normal scenario, those would have been 500, and we would have struggled to scale it and everything. So when we are achieving those 500, when we are launching that, they are going to send their teams over there. We are going to sit with them with all the 3 organizations, and we're going to devise a strategy to scale it up. I mean, with their experience and our know-how of the ground, it's bound to create an impact. So
Congratulations on the great work you're doing.
Thank
and
you.
Congratulations on being Davos's global shapers. Hope the Swiss Alps only bring more altitude to your dreams and passions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.